Alrighty. Chapter 8, Thinking and Language. Alright, the basic elements of thinking. This chapter is about thinking. When you are awake, you are probably thinking nearly all the time, but the type of thinking you are doing may vary from moment to moment. Thinking is the mental activity that is involved in the understanding, processing, and communicating of information. It is a complex process. Thinking is made possible through units of thought that include symbols, concepts, and prototypes. All right, so when we think, we use symbols to represent things about which we are thinking, and a symbol is an object or an act that stands for something else. And as you are probably aware, symbols are a part of our daily lives. Our school mascot is a chief. That's a symbol. The American flag. These are both examples of symbols. And different types of symbols are found in mathematics, like the plus sign and the minus sign. Letters and words are also symbols. A word actually stands for something else. It's not the thing itself. So all of these are examples of symbols, as you probably already know. Even your mental images are a type of symbol. If you picture a dog in your mind, that image stands for a dog, but of course, it's not itself a dog. If it were not for symbols, we would be unable to think about things that were not present. All right, so what do dogs, horses, and elephants have in common? You may say that they are all animals or that they all are mammals. When we think, we tend to mentally group together objects, events, and ideas that have similar characteristics as dogs, horses, and elephants do. Such a grouping is called a concept. Animal or mammal are both examples of concepts. And much thinking involves categorizing new items and manipulating the relationships among them. Think of a new kind of animal, for instance. Just make up one. What makes an animal? You have used the concept animal to create a new item that fits into the animal category. Now imagine your new animal in a tree eating a piece of fruit. Are you thinking about the relationships among concepts? Your animal, the tree, and the fruit? People organize concepts into hierarchies, series of levels that go from broad to narrow. And as we saw above, the dogs and the horses and the elephants, they can be grouped as both animals and mammals. The animal concept is higher up in the hierarchy than the mammal concept because it is broader or contains more elements. People learn concepts through experience, and some concepts, such as a ball or a vegetable, are taught by means of examples. So when we point to like a baseball or a basketball and say ball, or this is a ball to a child, when we point to broccoli or carrots, we say eat your vegetables. Communication is the means of abstract concepts such as fairness, beauty, and goodness may require detailed explanations. So this might require more explanation what these words mean. A variety of personal experiences and also like a variety of personal experiences. These could be all examples that we learn concepts through experience. Even then, people may still disagree about what is fair, beauty, or good. So what that is saying is people's concepts for certain things that are more complex, they might have different meanings to different people. And that could just all be opinion based. All right, so let's go to our notes and let's check, see if we answered any of our questions. What is an object or an act that stands for something else? There we go. Okay, that's going to get into, okay, symbol. Okay, here we go. A symbol is an object or an act that stands for something else. A symbol is an object or an act that stands for something else. So number one is A, symbol. What is an example of a symbol? School mascot, American flag, letters and words, and mental images. So number two is all the above. So number one is symbol, and number two is all the above. What is a prototype? Prototypes. All right, we didn't cover that yet. We're going to answer that next. Okay. All right, so when we often think about a concept, we have an image in our minds of a particular example of that concept. Even though a concept is a category and contains many different examples, for instance, picture a shoe in your mind. What does the shoe you pictured look like? Does it have shoelaces? Does it have straps? Does it have a heel? Is it flattened? Are they Jordans? Are they Nikes? What are they? All right, the shoe you imagine is an example of a prototype. And a prototype is an example of a concept that best exemplifies the characteristics of that concept. Let's see. A prototype does not have to be an actual experience example, such as a particular shoe you have seen. Instead, a prototype can be more like an average of all the experience examples. All right, so number three is all the above. Your prototype probably contains elements of many different shoes you have seen. Can't think. I'm trying to think of, when I think of a shoe, for some reason I'm just thinking of, honestly, black and red Jordans, like displayed on a wall. I don't know why that's coming to mind, but that's what I'm thinking of a shoe, even though those aren't the shoes I rock. All right, prototypes help us categorize the world and processes information about it. So this is just, I guess, the examples that we have in our brain and the way maybe we see the world. All right, what is convergent thinking and what is divergent thinking? Alrighty, three kinds of thinking. Researchers who study thought process are interested not only in the elements that play roles in thinking, but also in the ways we think. Psychologists have determined that, in general, we think in three ways: convergent, divergent, and metacognitive. Ooh, that's a big word. All right, so convergent thinking. With convergent thinking, thought is limited to available facts. When using convergent thinking, we look at a problem or task and narrow the options to one solution. This type of thinking is important in solving specific problems and setting and achieving goals. For example, if you're looking for your house key on your keychain, you eliminate all the keys that you know that are not the house key. When you pick out the correct key to open the door, you're developing rules and following them, and this is an example of convergent thinking. So hopefully that explains it. It's basically the process of elimination. So let's go ahead back. That's convergent thinking. What is convergent thought that is limited to available facts. 4 is B. All right, what is divergent thinking? Divergent thinking allows the mind to associate more freely to various elements of problem. One follows leads that run in a different direction. Divergent thinking is at the base of creativity. Unlike convergent thinkers, divergent thinkers think like open-ended questions and like to seek unique solutions to them. Woo! That is confusing. Divergent thinking sometimes occurs as daydreaming or fantasies. Interesting. So how can I explain this? All right, so when you're thinking of one thing and it leads to other things or different directions, this is what divergent thinking is. And divergent thinking is the base of creativity. So if you're creative, you're probably a divergent thinker. Allows the mind to associate more freely to various elements of the problem. Thinking about thinking. No, it's definitely not that. Okay, so number 5 is B. What is divergent thinking? Divergent thinking allows the mind. Number 5. What is divergent thinking? Allows the mind to associate more freely to various elements of a problem. Okay, so when you're a divergent thinker, one thought leads to a different direction. So you're creative if you're a divergent thinker. Number 5 is B. Number 5 is B. All right. And for our last thought here, metacognition. This consists of planning, evaluating, and monitoring mental activities. In other words, it's thinking about thinking. This is a very deep thought of thinking. Aristotle is a very good example of this, or maybe any philosopher, really. So this concept is metacognition, is thinking about thinking, which is not one of our questions, but it's one of the three kinds of thinking. All right, so that sums up your lesson today. Answer these questions. I will have these questions in the description below. So if you just comment on the video with your name and answer these questions, you will get full credit. Or you can email me these questions and answer them and just email them to me. All right, that's your lesson for today. Peace.